Yeah, I think a lot of other Asian teams would maybe not ban the Dust 2 towards the end there, but we are right into this one. No time to waste. Liquid will want to kick off Cologne with a bang.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get the B-Stream going for ESL 1 Cologne 2019. It's Team Liquid, the best team in the world, taking on one of the lowest ranked teams in the tournament, MVP PK. And it's going to be Twist getting the first kill. Zeta finished off, and Snacks will find the trade.
Quick trades onto the A bomb site. MVP PK bring it into a 3 versus 3. Nitro trying to come in from above, but it's Stewie to get one of his own in from the back lines. Stax and Zyme not in the best positions, and Stax has got to do it all into the open. Gets the opening frag, but there's the trade from Nitro. Liquid on the board.
Wow, incredible stuff coming in from Stewie, a player again we've kind of talked about, and here are the odds from Betway. Definitely favouring Team Liquid. It's just exactly what you'd expect coming into this.
I think their MVP in that round, try and go for just some quick aggression in towards A, just trying to get that good start, maybe just to catch Liquid off guard. You can see what they were trying there, and the trades didn't go too badly for them, but Liquid end up just closing out the round, solid trades throughout.
So MVP have actually decided not to go for the force buy here in the pistols. They've just gone for a couple of upgraded weapons and a smoke and a flash. So keeping the money in the bank, certainly the right decision coming into this one. And Team Liquid, they have got everything you could possibly want. It's going to be a fast play from Zeth in towards the A bomb site where Twist just lines them up. 3 kills on the XM. And as Nitro and Elise getting 2 on the MP9. Liquid get it done incredibly quickly.
Twist stacking up the cash on the shotgun. $900 for each of those kills. So he is balling right now. Can buy whatever he wants. But he wants to stick with the auto shotgun because it worked so well for him. Now that MVP have got the full buy though, this is where you would expect them to maybe slow things down slightly. They went for the quick play in the pistol, same in the follow-up round where they took the low buy, but this is their chance to try and run some of those set plays, and we'll see if those nades are there for them, because again, we think MVP are probably one of the most structured teams in Asia, so you would expect them to have some set plays in mind.
Exactly. Of course, having time to prepare for a series, hopefully they have got something up their sleeve. Hopefully we don't see any of those missed outside smokes. That's generally the right step in the right direction. And MVP taking their time. It looked like they're going to go set up for an A execute in towards this bomb site. Molotovs at the ready, smokes are there available to them, Alex. But Team Liquid, it is going to be a bit of a bonus for them here if they pick this one up.
Yeah, I think MVP should be aware of some of those weaker weapons. Obviously, they're aware of Twist's auto shotgun, and you can see they do not want to fight him up close and personal. Few nades used early, but MVP not committing to too much at the start of the round here. They haven't lost any opening fights yet, and these outside smokes are going to allow the Koreans to wrap in towards A. Quick trade comes through.
Well, there it is, but Twist gets one on the XM. Zeta stepping up, and he's the player we have to look for on this MVP team. HSK burns away Naf, and Stu will step in with a headshot, but it's Stax and Zeta trying to make it happen, as Twist has got himself an AK-47, 30 seconds on the clock. They're going to try and get themselves in towards the B bomb site, and the ball is indeed planted.
Oh, Zeta on the site itself ends up getting picked off, so it's up to Stax to try to play around this bomb. There is a kit in play for Liquid, so they can take a bit more time in on this retake.
He's just biding his time. Liquid making sure they clear all the corners he could be playing from, but Stax needs to step up. Headshot comes in towards Twist. He's looking for the 1v1 up against Stewie 2K. He's just biding his time, throwing the doors open, closing them again. He's playing this one well, but Stewie's going for the stick. He's going to go for the defuse, peeking into it. Stax pulls it off, and MVP PK will pick up the first gun round.
Nice round win for MVP to get on the board early, but they were pushed to the limit on what was a bonus round for Team Liquid. The team play looked good there for MVP though. Considering they were pushing multiple areas of the map, they did a surprisingly good job at bringing that into a winnable position. Then in the 2v2, they slowed things down. They made sure they could try to group up. And even though Stax wasn't there in time to help his teammates, he was left in a pretty good position to try to watch that bomb. And we need to see plays like that from MVP if they want to win this.
Well, Stewie 2K back in towards the ramp room, and I love to see it. Something that Stewie does is when he holds his crosshair in the same position for a long time, he kind of does this little wiggle. And what's the point of this is, instead of quick switching, he just kind of keeps his attentions drawn towards that position. Because sometimes if you're holding one angle for too long, Alex, you can sort of just fall asleep, right? And your reactions are they slow. Whereas if Stewie keeps himself on top, that's the way he does it. So certainly a good approach into it, but at this point, MVPK, after finding success in that first round, they want to try and replicate it, put two together, but Liquid again, obviously that was a bonus for them, so the rifles are still available.
And it's the M4s now, rather than the AUG. After that AUG nerf we saw recently, that was kind of something that we were looking towards, we were going to keep an eye on, and I had heard that most teams in practice have gone back to those M4A4s. It looks like that's what Liquid have gone for as well. Even though Elige was a player who switched over to those scope rifles very early, even he's gone back to the M4. So that really suggests that Liquid do not think that AUG is too good anymore, but here comes some aggression from MVP.
Well, flash right through Zygen, trying to force his issue, but it's Stewie2K holding in towards ramp. He does a good job just to hold them off. They're not going to get anywhere near the ramp room. And with 25 seconds, they're going to have to try and find a way into a bomb site. And it seems like the only option really is trying to get in towards A. The smoke's still there. HSK will take away Naf. Kill from Twitch comes through again. The Mac 10 though. It's successful from Zygen as Zeph is able to pick up one. And Stewie up towards Heaven. Kill coming in, trying to find the follow-up. But it's all on Zeta. And it's all over. 3-1. MVP can't put two together.
Yeah, Liquid did a really good job at holding their nades in that round. With about 30 seconds left, MVP tried to move forwards using their mollies, using their flashbangs, but then they got slowed down by the counter utility of the CT side. And with about 20 seconds left, MVP were left with a 4v4 situation, no nades left, and Liquid had a pretty good idea that it was likely to be a push into that A site. If anything, I was surprised that MVP managed to win some of those early exchanges, and for a second it looked like they actually had a chance to get something going there, but in the end, Liquid's counter nades work well, they get the crossfire at the end on the board, and that means that MVP have to go for a very weak buy.
Well, Naf just holding the long range, with a kill onto Zeph, and it is kind of strange seeing the M4s, I have to say. We've seen so many AUGs in play for the last 8 months that seeing the M4s back, it should be normal, but it just feels so different.
Yeah, a little bit fresh almost, which is weird, as you were saying. Like, it's weird to say that M4 is fresh, because in Counter-Strike, you normally see that as the main weapon on the CT side, but another round win comes on the board for Liquid, and I think if you wanted to see a world in which MVP won this map, you would say, okay, if they start on the T side and they get a good start, maybe you could see something working, but that has not happened. Liquid are not giving them any chances.
They're winning the rounds they have to, and that's the important part. MVP PK. So a weapon that has started to crop up even more is the SG, because a lot of teams feel like the AUG can't really even counter it at this point. But it seems as though MVP sticking with the AK-47s. They've even got a Galil on Zeta. They've got utility available to most players. It's an okay level of utility. Not amazing, but it's certainly enough to get a job done. As Team Liquid, no mistakes are being made. They're not forcing the issue too much, and that's a really nice sign to see. It's actually Twist is inside of the hut. He's pushed all the way up. Nitro sitting on the back of the bomb side, and that's going to be a kill from Twist. Just not expecting him to be so close as Zeph will fall, but Nitro and Elige, they both go down. Twist falls as well, and all the kills are coming in from MVP.
Wow, this is a real switch up in terms of the pace of play, but Stewie isn't going to get that kill. Naf steals it away from him. Lots of nades left in the hands of Naf. Stewie also coming in from Heaven, but MVP are playing this one really safe. Zygen is kind of isolated on the site though, that could be an issue.
Well, Stewie just waiting up towards Heaven. He wants to go over the top, see if he can find anything, but Naf's actually picked off Zeta, and so this is the push from Stewie in towards Heaven. The kill comes in from Zygen, and this is looking pretty good. It has to be all on Naf. With the time ticking, it might just be over for it. We'll just try and see if the M4A4, so MVP, they will get themselves another one on the board.
I'm really happy that MVP realized that they might need to throw a faster round in there as well, because those slow rounds were not working. Liquid were holding their nades, making sure that the late pushes would not be successful, and off the back of that round win, Team Liquid have a decision to make here. The money is not great across the board, and you'd think with them being the favorites, they're probably better off taking a save here. But obviously on the CT side of Nuke, you want to rack up as many round wins as you can. It always feels bad kind of conceding these rounds. So they invest into a few CZs, a couple of close range weapons that they will try to use.
Well, Stewie's had a really solid start. 9 kills, 2 deaths. That's just stellar. Alongside Twist, obviously, as well. He's having a great start into Nuke, but this is not going to be around. There's 2 favorites for them. We've actually seen Liquid rock the shotguns a lot on this map, so they certainly love to get them in play, but Alicia's gone on a push towards outside, and Zeta is waiting for it. So punishing the aggression of Liquid, knowing that they might be on a low buy and want to try and force the issue. And so MVP playing this one well so far.
I think this is the first round where MVP have actually won the opening duel. They've not been good in those early fights, but against the weak buy, Elige is caught over towards outside. MVP beginning to move forwards with those nades in play. We've seen MVP rely on that utility quite heavily. They are allowed to move down in towards Secret, but Naf not able to stop them. The one rifle was in the correct position, but Stax takes his head off.
Well, it's all on the Stewie, Nitro, and Twist. What can they get done? Probably not a whole lot as MVP have taken the B bomb site. And all of Liquid are currently on the upper bomb site. So, bomb planted, MVP. As long as they keep all 5 alive, that's going to be the absolute best outcome for them. And this has actually been a pretty solid start from MVP. They're actually contesting the runs time and time again with Team Liquid, and they've got 3 under the belt already.
I think I'd like Liquid to play for the exit kills here. They don't really have much worth saving. I guess there's the chance they could try and recover Naf's rifle that was dropped, but especially Twists would like to get a kill with the shotgun for all that extra cash. Stewie is also sticking around, but he's unable to do anything. So it looks like Liquid are not going to get too much done at the end here, just hanging on to these weak weapons at the end. I doubt we'll see Twist stick with the Nova, though. They can buy.
I mean, you could be surprised, Alex.
Oh, he's doing it.
There we go. I definitely have seen Twist rock this weapon.
He could definitely like get in the vents or something, or up on top of the hut.
Yeah, well, the Cologne Invitational, which was how Liquid actually made it to this tournament, I was casting that event, and Twist went on to the Nova pretty much every time they had one of the low buys. So he absolutely loves the weapon. We've actually seen Stewie pick it up a few times as well, but certainly a weapon that Twist is proficient with, and we'll see what he can do with it as he makes his way over towards the door. Really the only position I feel like it's viable.
Yeah, you could play it in the vents, but you don't normally want a player just sitting in the vents on your CT setup. So playing on top of the hut makes a bit more sense. Again though, MVP are able to get quite a lot of money off the back of that convincing round win. So now they've got a bit of breathing room. Twist's forced away by the molly, but not forced off his position. As MVP again take a fairly slow and structured start to the round. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked for them though. Elige gets the opening kill for Liquid, and these smokes are not really in position. Only one smoke up. Zeta drops the second one as MVP move forwards.
Solid stuff here from MVP. Even though they've lost the first man, they might just lose the second, and the third as Elige lines them up. 2 kills coming in. MVP, they're going to try and take their time. It's Stax taking away Naf. At least 1 kill has come through, but with 45 seconds, they have to try and recover the bomb as well. It's being watched by Elige, who's low HP, and it's fallen back inside the bomb site. He's got the backup of his teammates. So MVP have been allowed to pick up the bomb. The difficult part becomes, Alex, whether or not they can get to a bomb site with it. It's highly unlikely.
Yeah, they're running around the map, but they're not really making much ground towards either of these sites. Well, finally moving towards B.
Yeah, finally they've got the B bomb site. No one here from Liquid to cause any problems, so they should try and get in towards the site. Just making sure they clear all the corners. Bomb plant should come through for MVP at least, and it has to be the retake coming in from Team Liquid. 1 kit available, it is on Twists. But MVP still stand a chance here in winning this one, as they have got themselves in towards the B bomb site. They're holding off from the door. And HSK just holding the stairs, peeking towards control room, trying to find some information towards that ramp area. Currently there's 2 players there. It's Nitro the first face, but Stewie, he'll give away his position as well. And Stax picked up a kill. If MVP picked this one up, it's absolutely horrible for Liquid. As Twist is on a Nova, he will pick up Stax, just HSK. They should know where he's playing from. Twist trying to force the fight, defuse the taps there, but there's only a kit on Twist, and he wins the fight with the Nova.
Oh, it comes close, but Twist with that kit is going to win the round for Liquid. At the end there, it really came down to the wire. MVP just had to win 2 of those individual fights to bring it to a somewhat winnable position, and Liquid didn't really have the players set up to trade that one out too quickly. With MVP playing such safe spots, they were able to reposition around those angles. They made it kind of close at the end there, which could come into play in the future. Remember, Liquid are continuing to not be able to build up the money. They've got very little cash left behind, having to reinvest everything here. It definitely feels like MVP are in this game. They're at least bringing the round somewhat close. They're at least getting into winnable positions. And again, if they were to, say, win this round, Liquid's money would be questionable. And you don't need too many rounds on the T side of Nuke to stay competitive.
It's not like MVP lacks skill, right? We've talked about Liquid being probably the most skilled team within Counter-Strike at the minute, but if you take a look at MVP, they're a team that certainly have skill between them. The likes of Zeta, the top-rated player in the team, but you've got Zard who can also step up alongside him. And Stax has looked pretty solid.
Yeah, this MVP team actually has quite an even frag distribution normally.
Yep.
All the players are pretty similar in terms of the ratings, which is definitely impressive. They also made a couple of roster moves somewhat recently. Back in March, they brought in a couple of players. The South Korean teams have been switching around slightly in the last few years. HSK and Stax were brought in back in March. So they've definitely had time to gel with this roster. And you are seeing that with, again, all these nades being lined up.
Easily their most skilled roster they brought to an event, so certainly their best chance, you would say. And well, Team Liquid, they've got a little bit of utility here on the CT side still left, a minute on the clock. And MVP eventually are going to have to make their play, but they've actually been quite the opposite from what you'd expect from Asian Counter-Strike usually. It's been a very slow approach, very methodical, taking their time, setting up all the pieces. And Stewie is going to go and take himself that first kill, but the trade comes in from Stax. Naf has to stand tall, but it's Stax with a follow-up, and it's actually MVP who have the access point in towards the B bomb site.
Ooh, individual aim from Stax pays off. What? 3 kills from him on the round, just taking faces right now. Nitro loses out as well. MVP popping heads all over the map. And what can Liquid do? That's ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, Stax just that entry force, just running right through them. Trade comes in onto Stewie. He's able to follow up onto Naf. And then you expect surely Elige gets at least 1 kill here. But no, Stax just walks in, whips his head off, and MVP. That is just incredible.
You don't see Liquid get out-aimed like that too often. That's really impressive from MVP. And the mix of the structure and some of the players showing up is somewhat scary here. Again, we can't get ahead of ourselves. Liquid are definitely still big favorites for this map, but MVP are not too far away from putting together a decent T side. And even remaining competitive is a really big deal right now.
Just so you know, Alex, that wasn't a lisp, actually. I actually meant that he whips his head off.
Oh, yeah?
But not... It sounded like it was meant to be rips. But it indeed was whips. So there we go. I'm sure Twitch chat will love that one. But we get into this. Obviously, 5-4 Liquid. They are a team you'd expect to be the favorites just walking away with it. But this has actually been certainly impressive from MVP. They're actually competing with Liquid on an individual level, and they've also got the strategy to back it up. This is a good sign moving forward for MVP, and it comes back to that point where Asian teams, they turn up to these events, they look great in the opening best of 1 because they've prepped the map, they've had the time to do that, and if they have the preparation alongside the individual ability, that's when they can do the damage against some of these better teams.
Just a quick update for you. This is a technical pause from MVP, but it's all been sorted. Not going to be a long one here. And I think MVP were one of the teams from Asia that we've always talked about as wanting to see them do well because they do play structured, because they do play much more of a European style. I remember Blair was always saying that he thinks that if this team could just maybe get a bit more experience, there is the chance for them to do some damage. Liquid have gone for the force buy here into round 10 as well. Stewie on the auto shotgun, not a single premium rifle in play, only the scout in the hands of Naf. So this is a round where you feel like Liquid might either have to take some risks to try and get the early advantage or just rely on all that skill.
Well, Stewie holding close towards the ramp area. Has got himself an XM.
We've seen the auto shotgun do a lot of damage here in the past. Yeah, I think it was Jax that got that 3 or 4K with it.
Yeah, it can definitely tear up teams very quickly indeed. Just rattle off the shots On Nitro, trying to play towards Secret Stairs. Molotov came in, but it doesn't quite extend to him. Grenade comes in, that'll give away his position, and the utility comes back through from MVP PK, making sure that they clear him away. It will be the troops from MVP starting to make their way in towards NAF. The scout is going to be there, but it's not going to be connected, and unfortunately, he'll have to fall away. So MVP, they've got the control here, and they might just put some pressure in towards Heaven.
Not too many nades left for MVP to take the sites, though. They'll mainly be relying on these AKs, but with so much ground gained in towards Heaven, this A-Wrap looks likely. Zigan in with the first. Zeph also finds an entry, and Liquid not really finding the fights they were looking for. Nitro eventually gets one back, but there's more to do.
Well, all the kills coming through from Stewie as well. So it's into a 3v3, even once more as Stewie and the rest of the gang trying to run on in. It's Nitro with one in the CZ, but Zeph lines them up. Triple kill comes in, and MVP, they win the duels. They're just punishing this aggression from Liquid. If Liquid throw any aggression, MVP are ready for it, and that's an amazing sign to see. It just shows Team Liquid not going to be getting off easy when it comes to the low buys. And 5 runs on the T side already, if you're MVP, is absolutely incredible. And they should be going into the lead here, Alex.
Ooh, we get a bit of SG action on the MVP side. HSK picking up the scoped rifle. Liquid with a minimal investment here. Twist has got the Zeus, which is always fun to watch out for. But MVP looking set to take the lead as long as they don't mess this round up. HSK doing a bit of damage early. Stewie, who's actually got the opening frag of the round, but MVP quickly equalized the numbers.
Well, Stewie, he'll sit back over towards Ramp. He'll go in for the kill, but it's Stacks who'll pick it up. Again, just winning those aim battles inside of the ramp area.
Oh, Nitro's pretending he's a T and just following them.
Yeah, well, the rest of the troops are following him as well, but HSK is ready for this, and he gets 2 kills on the Krieg. All on a leash. 1v4 with a USP. Here's the bomb plant, but there's not a whole lot he can do, unfortunately. And MVP will go into the lead.
This is where you maybe think Liquid would want to take a tactical timeout at this point, because it's only 6-5. It's not like this is getting out of hand. But realistically, you only need about 6 or 7 rounds to be happy with your T side if you are MVP PK.
The thing is with Liquid as well, they're not a team that's looked indomitable against some of the weaker teams they should be beating, but at least he's going to take himself an AK off the back of Zeta and try and run away with it. He's on 1 HP, so he even takes a splinter of damage from anyone or the bomb. In fact, he will lose it, but he holds off. Saijin falls to his death, and well, Elish will survive. So 6-5. He's trying to get the AK into the next one, he will. And bring it back to the point of Team Liquid. They haven't had that sort of, being the #1 team, yes, but they haven't had that sort of dominance that you'd expect Astralis to have, where they just completely mechanically destroy everyone they play. We've seen hiccups from Team Liquid. They've played against the likes of Fours. They nearly ended up losing to Fours in the Cologne Invitational to get here, right? And the fact that they finally beat them and went into the finals up against G2, there was also a point where they lost to Spirit in those games, and there's teams at Pro League where they definitely look rough. And certainly it hasn't been massively dominant from Team Liquid, and they've shown tendencies that they can sort of get pushed close from some of these weaker teams, and MVP is certainly playing them close already.
Yeah, and at Pro League, they also lost their opening best of 1 against North. Not a team you really expect Liquid to be losing against, maybe. North are definitely a decent team, but you'd think Liquid would be able to come out on top. So I guess you can look at that 2 ways. Either that the best of 1s are difficult for Liquid, or you can take it as a positive and say, even if they were to lose here, they could still bounce back, because they've already done it.
Yeah. Well, Stacks, he's up on top of the Marshmallow. Nitro is in below it. And this angle is so difficult to check on the T side, because you kind of have to walk over vertically looking down, right? It's definitely an angle you can check. So Nitro needs to just hope that they don't. And with 53 seconds left on the clock, it seems as though MVP are going to go back into their very standard execute. They've been doing this quite often when it came to the gun rounds.
Liquid have gone, MVP have gone for those outside smokes, but that position you pointed out from Nitro, no aggression off the back of it. Liquid realize it's not the outside play. They've got players stacked in on this A site, but they've lost the opening fight, and Zeta is trying to look for more.
Well, kill comes in. It's going to be the man advantage for the T side, but Twist is down to port right back with HSK and Zeta. The kills come through. It's all on Stu and Nitro to try and get back into the bomb site, but it's not going to happen. Nitro in a 1v4. This is absolutely incredible from MVP as Nitro will take 1 kill away. They now know where he is. And MVP are just winning these fights and winning them dominantly. It's actually incredible.
I mean, I know it's early over in North America right now, but you'd hope that Liquid would wake up soon. Nitro trying to move forwards after finding those 2 kills, but the time is so far against him. Zyne goes for the fight just at the right time. Even if he lost that one, Stax was in from behind in a great position to watch that bomb, and MVP up to a 7-5 lead. This starts to get slightly scary now.
Yeah, this is actually a little bit scary for Liquid, right? You know, you had a decent start, up 4-2, but since then haven't really looked like you stood a chance. MVP have just looked dominant when it comes to the aim fights in the opening kills, and it's a slow start to the T side in terms of their approach, but when they finally decide to execute, they execute with fierce and just so scary, so rapid. And Team Liquid just fall like flies. And yes, Stewie's done a decent job here towards ramp. He gets at least 1 kill usually, but the trade is always there. He's the bait switch setup this time with Elige, and it's going to be 3 kills on the pistols. Elige and Naf get it done as Naf follows up, and it's the pistols that seem to be successful for Liquid here.
1v5 is not happening. Elige gets an SG into his hands, and he puts it to use. That's always the risk for MVP, is that just one crossfire from Liquid works out. You see the individuals land some nice shots. They get the job done. And Nitro is picking up the AUG still. 1 AUG in play, double up setup. Elige also has the SG, which is a gun that he loves. Especially on the CT side, it feels so strong.
Yeah, he's the master of this weapon. If you are a player aspiring to be a great SG player, make sure you take a look at Elige's demos, because he's certainly the best, if not one of the best in this game with the SG. We'll see if he can wield it to success here on the CT side. Like you're saying, Nuke is such a strong map for the AUG back in the AUG meta. Obviously with it dropping off a little bit. The SG, if you can get it off the T's hands, that can be so deadly.
Yeah, I think we might see maybe 1 AUG in CT setups. Yeah. I doubt it will be the dominant rifle, but I think it's worthwhile picking up just for the scope and just for, if you really want the close range battles, you can get that insta one-shot headshot on some maps. There's that second smoke drop. There's a big gap. That's a mistake. Elige only gets the 1 kill, though. Again, MVP solid on the trades, and that shot from Naf not quite connecting.
Well, it's good that he only gets the 1 kill. MVP are able to trade immediately after. That could have been devastating, but Nitro holding the stairs will pick off 1 with the AUG, and Stewie close to the AWP, goes for the aggressive fight, misses the shot, and Stax will take him away. So 3v3, 45 seconds as Naf will use his op to get the kill on towards Stax, as HSK and Zygen are left into a 2v3.
Ooh, Zygen trying to get back up towards A, where HSK has taken control. Another really nice mid-round call from MVP. We've seen this a couple of times where they've been able to find the open bomb site, where they've been able to get the bomb planted, and Twist only has the Nova for the retake. Not the best weapon. There's a kill as well.
Well, Zygen does take away Naf back into a 2v2. As Twist is just going to hold off towards the height. There's a big flank from Zygen here. This is going to be brutal if they can't find it. Zygen coming in towards Heaven. I don't think Nitro is going to expect this one. So Zygen has the perfect timing as well. So they tap the bomb. Defuse coming through though. He's got to go quick. Nitro got for the defuse. It's so close. And Zygen will take him away. It's 6. MVP have already confirmed themselves at least a round lead moving into the second half. And this is absolutely stellar coming in from the T side.
Again, really fluid play from MVP. They're doing such a great job at moving all around the map. Liquid can never really predict where MVP are going to end up. I think that's because MVP are always keeping one player kind of behind, holding the map control elsewhere.
Yep.
We saw that especially in the round where Liquid tried to push lobby. There was a player just sitting at the top of the vents, ready to hold that area of the map. And it means MVP are pretty confident rotating between the sites, but Stewie manages to catch Zeta off guard. The AWP unable to find him on that angle.
Well, man advantage for Liquid this time. Stewie is the man to collect it. No answer yet from MVP. If Liquid can make this an 8-7 half and win the pistol, there's still a chance for them to close it out dominantly in the second half. That's exactly what they want to do, but with the early showings from MVP, it's certainly looking like that'll be a difficult task, as HSK has made his way towards outside and wants to put a little bit of pressure on towards Garage, and Elige is going to hear that flash.
Ooh, Elige playing around the box. Timing is just right. HSK caught off guard. Zygen has also got to be careful because Nitro's up close with his CZ. His teammate mollies him out of that corner. Slightly awkward there, but Liquid should still be fine with a big advantage and a Naf on the AWP making plays. Liquid have quite a few options for AWPers now. Naf taking aggressive there.
Well, Zygen is alone into a 1 versus 4. With 35 seconds left, it has to be a massive play here against the rest of the best in the world. It's not going to be the easiest of challenges. With 25 seconds, it looks as though Liquid have just confirmed themselves at least 7 here.
Yeah, I think all in all, MVP cannot be disappointed with this T side, obviously. Whenever you win the half, you are really happy with that. But Twists saves it slightly for Liquid.
Indeed. Well, it is half-time. It will be 8-7. MVP are in the lead, and it's just absolutely incredible. We're going to go to a short break. We're going to return in a few moments to see if Liquid can close it off. Hello everyone and welcome back to ESL 1 Cologne. This is the B stream and it's MVP PK leading the way as we move into the second half. Team Liquid have been trailing and it's absolutely incredible that MVP are showing up like this, Alex.
Something that's really impressive for MVP as well is they only won 3 of the opening duels in that first half, and yet they've got 8 rounds on the board. Their trade frags were fantastic on that T side, but they have to keep that through into this second half, where Liquid have gone for 2 sets of nades, and they've used quite a few of those nades early.
Nitro still has the smoke and the nade in his hand. Over on MVP is a full set of Kevlar, bar Zeph, who is on the defuse kit and smoke. It is going to be Liquid flashing away towards the A-bomb site. They want to get it done as Zeta has to hold the back line. Oh. With the headshot, can't line it up, and all the kills coming in from Team Liquid. It's all on stacks in HSK, and they're going to have to try and source themselves a way back into this A-bomb site.
Oh, they'll be disappointed with some of those fights they lost, and Nitro pretty much puts the dagger in the heart of their opponents. HSK, oh, nice shot onto the second man there, but whenever you're in a 1v5, you are unlikely to get much going. I think just the individual aim there was the lacking factor for MVP. They had the chances for the frags, but just whiffed some of those key headshots and lost that fight a little too early. And sadly, that's something that could come through for this MVP team. Just the individuals, they're not really as crisp as you would like, but they're not going to be giving up too easily. This time, MVP taking a bit of a bye after losing the pistol.
Well, Zeta and HSK with the scouts trying to do some damage, trying to cause some problems, but Liquid is going to walk in towards Secret Stairs and down towards the lower bomb site, where there's currently Zygin waiting. He's dispatched with Zef, just trying to cause some problems. He will. The CZ gets a kill. Can he find a follow-up? You better believe he can, as there's a second. He's burned in the fire. He'll try and get away, but Stacks with the Deagle, stepping up, looking for another kill. And unfortunately, he won't be able to get it, but this is a 2v2, Alex. How has this happened?
Wow, those pistols doing all the damage up close. But now that Liquid are back into this 2v2, the damage is done. Twist stays in the open. The scout takes him down, and Elige is down to half health. One scout shot would close out this round. Elige misses early, as does HSK, and he's just going to run straight onto this A site.
Well, Elige comes into the site itself, clears old vents. Trying to limit the positions they could be playing from. But eventually he'll have to go for the bomb plant, and that makes things very difficult. Has to use the Molotov. Up towards heaven onto HSK. Bomb plant coming through. Molotov's perfect, forces HSK away from it. And Elige tries to step up for Team Liquid here. Trying to get them into the lead. He goes towards the old vent and holds. The door is wide open. It's a kill from Elige. Can he find the follow-up? The 1v2 clutches in, and it's Elige that'll give Liquid the lead.
Oh, 9 health for Elige at the end there. The second player could have taken him down so easily. I'm pretty sure he pulled out the pistol to try to land the one shot he needed, but Elige keeps his team on top. A very important round for Liquid to win as well. And it means that MVP are going to have to take a weak bye into round 18. You saw Liquid have those early nades towards outside, even though they were against the weaker buy. They wanted to move forwards, and this nade stack is not well timed. No damage from all those nades.
Well, Nitro, that's 2 kills that are going to come easy. He's going to get a third as well. And if Nitro can find the fourth, obviously, it wouldn't much be over. It is over at this point. But Zeta and Zygin, the last 2 players remaining.
Might get one.
And yeah, if he can get 1 kill, at least stops the clean sheet. And there it is. Nitro finished off. Can he find a follow-up? The answer is no, as Twist will drop him 10-8. So Team Liquid on double figures. Much better here, a lot more clean. But we'll start to see the rifles come through here for the MVP side. AWP in the hands of Zeta. They have the M4s available as well. The team, again, not deciding to go with the AUX. So certainly a chance here for MVP to turn things around and get right back into the second half.
And Zeta is the player we pointed out in the pre-game as potentially being the standout player for MVP. Right now, he's at the bottom of the board, so even with him not really having such a great game, I think you can see it's been a team effort for MVP. The fragging hadn't been great there, but they were just grinding out rounds with many, many trade kills coming through. Let's see if they can also do that on their CT side. Liquid with a couple of weaker weapons carried over into this round, and that means they're going to speed things up on towards A.
Well, Twist is going to be the front man. Kill comes in towards Zep, but Zygin holding on, 2 kills. Oh, wow, what a haul from Zygin. Zeta steps up with 2 as well, and it's the brick wall of MVP.
Okay, then. That's one way to win a round. Zygin actually only got 3 kills. We thought he got more, but it was the AWP in the back lines who managed to get the easy follow-up frags. And look at all these SGs for Liquid. Okay, this is interesting. It seems like the SG is going to become more prevalent.
Exactly. It doesn't have the AUG as the counterpart, right? So it's going to be a little bit more dominant in these fights at long range against the M4A4. We'll see if that is the case. And Nitro is only on a Tech 9. They're going to have a lot of success off the back of these SGs. Elige goes for the peek over towards Yard. Doesn't spot anybody. And so Team Liquid go back into a more default stance and will start to put a little bit of pressure towards the radio room.
Also worth pointing out that in that previous round, it was Zeta with that AWP who got a couple of kills in the back lines. He was the player that we talked about as maybe struggling slightly, but that AWP comes through early on the CT side. Same play from Liquid, straight onto A, and the trade is good for them. Rotate coming through, but MVP have got to hold this down, and Stewie says no. Second entry for him, and the trades just keep on coming.
Well, Zeta and Zygen alone, but it's Tech9 from Nitro. Let's pull it right back into a 1v1. Nitro looks towards Heaven, but Zeta holds the angle. It's 10-10, back into a stalemate. And MVP, as soon as they got the guns into their hands, Alex, it's just been an absolute turnaround. This one is not going to be easy for Liquid whatsoever, as they are back to a low buy. Might just even be the full eco coming in here. It's just going to be a deagle there. That's it.
Yeah, and again, you see that aggressive role from Stewie working really well. He's actually been incredible in the opening duels. He's won 6 opening fights, hasn't been the first man to die on a single occasion. He did quite a lot of work there in on those A entries, but it was actually the follow-up for Liquid which wasn't really there, which is quite rare for this team. Mainly Glocks in this round, unlikely to do too much. Elige is trying to rattle off some shots with the Desert Eagle. The bomb is dropped down, and Nap attempts the burst fire, but nothing doing for Liquid. MVP back into the lead with a decent amount of money built up. Like you said, as soon as they've got the full buy, they've looked good.
Yeah, this is so brutal for Team Liquid. The fact that MVP are dominating the fights across the board. Finally, we get another buy-in here from Team Liquid. Everyone has a gun at least to work with. Nitro obviously found himself on the Tech9.
Only the one SG this time.
Yeah, only the one SG. They've gone back to the more standard approach of the 8K. It's probably because of money. Cash restraints, obviously wanting to get the utility in play instead.
The SG isn't that much more than the AK, though. They're really, really similar in price.
They are indeed.
But they are in a position where they're so close on money, right? Like
Yeah.
$50 might be the difference between missing a smoke and a flash. So
Yeah.
I see your point.
Well, smokes come out towards outside. It's going to be the wall of smokes as Team Liquid starting to make their way through. It will be 4 players approaching the secret stairs. They're 5th, hanging back a little bit. We've seen a lot of teams use this strategy where they'll send the players towards secret stairs and they'll leave one just to sort of catch off the players that are looking to get a flank going on the CT side. And Zygen, he'll try and hold towards the lower bomb site, throws the smoke, and that's actually going to stop Liquid from walking through. They don't want to go right through that. They don't know what's waiting on the other side.
Liquid's early gun rounds have been very A-centric. Quite often pushing in from lobby in towards the A site early. So this is a slightly different approach, but that rotate down the vent allows a second smoke to be deployed, keeping Zygen contained in on this angle. He can lock this position down a little bit longer. 40 seconds left. MVP still have quite a few nades left, including a couple of Molotovs. That might come into play in the late round as Liquid have to move forwards.
Well, flash goes through. Multiple players from Team Liquid starting their charge in towards the lower bomb site itself. They have to get going as 25 seconds is all that remains on the clock, and Zygen is still alive inside of the site. Rotations are there as well. Kill comes in from Elige. Finally, first blood is drawn, and they have to try and get into the bomb site. It's not going too well. Stax is trying to hold them off. Molotov's through. A kill from Zeta coming in as well. It's not looking great for Liquid. 8 seconds. They have to get the bomb planted. Eventually, it's coming through as Zeph tried to deny, but Elige will step up. 11-11, and again, just straight up chaos there towards the lower bomb site, but it's Liquid who win the fights.
Yeah, MVP there, not really having a setup where they could help Zygen in his position. So once he was blinded, that was always going to be the first kill going against them. And then the player on the site itself was just standing up on the rafters, in on the off angle, out in the open. He was hoping that maybe he could catch a couple of players out, but Liquid did a solid job at trading on towards him as well. And then MVP, unfortunately, were kind of locked out of the site from that point. It felt like they could have maybe got something going there on the CT side if they were to win pretty much every fight, and it almost happened for them, but at the end of the day, despite Liquid running down the clock, they get it done. And this should be a buy for MVP, slowly but surely investing into all these weapons. Zeta still gets the AWP in his hands. He's been playing it pretty safe over towards Heaven, just containing towards Yard. We'll see if that's how he continues to play, as both teams have invested almost everything into this round. This is a big round in this game.
This is one of the swing rounds. One of these teams will take that momentum and take the lead back. Will be HSK sitting with the M4A4. Smoke execute comes in. No gaps for Liquid. Smokes are perfectly lined up as Ali starts to make his way through towards the lower bomb site through Secret, but look at the angle. Zeta holding this. AWP connects onto the first shot as he falls away back. Some Opus can sort of mess that shot up a little bit. They can whiff it slightly, but he does a good job of picking it up. Flash comes in as well. He'll continue to hold. As Stewie is a little bit too scared to walk around the corner, and rightly so. Walking into an AWP is never the right call.
Elige is a player who has started to play a bit more aggressively in the last few months as well. He's actually attempted the most entries on Liquid, more than Stewie, which was quite surprising to me. He's been successful in those opening fights quite often as well, but not this time around. And there's no trade for Liquid either. Running down the clock. Not many nades left for Liquid to actually crack this bomb site, but they've got a lot of ground towards B, and they can continue to move forwards. Unfortunately, though, the AWP continues to chime in.
Yeah, the patience from Zeta just to sit there and hold. Stewie eventually walks into it. Missed shot, though, as Naf will take one on the Galil. Still Liquid, they have the deficit. 23 seconds left. Bomb plant coming through as Nitro will confirm that. And this is the best chance for Liquid, just getting in the bomb site, sinking your teeth deep into it. But MVP want to try and get back through. Nitro holding off. They have also got Naf up towards the control room. Nitro lines up one, but the trade is in. Naf has knees to pick up this kill, and there it is. All on HSK, and Zyja not alone as he takes the headshot onto Naf. Twist will step up, and a double kill comes in. 12-11. Liquid head back into the lead.
Oh, Twist was trapped in the corner there. He had to get the headshots. He had to stay in that position. But as we were saying, that was a real swing round in the game. MVP forced down to a low buy after losing that one. And it came so close for them. It comes down to the 1v1. We haven't had many rounds go down to the clutch scenarios in this game. We've only had 3 or 4 rounds come down to the clutches. MVP have won 2 of those rounds. Liquid have won 2 of them now themselves. And it looks like it should be enough for them here as Naf gets away safely.
Well, Naf gets another one. The rest of the troop running on through, but it's Elige that waits for it. Kill comes in from Nitro as well. And Liquid, it seems so scrappy, but they just still win all the fights. There's always chances there for MVP, but they don't get a single kill. Clean from Team Liquid. They keep 5 alive, and they go up to 13. Only 3 away here from taking away Nuke and winning their first best of 1, the opening match in Cologne. It feels like every single team, if they can get that win under their belt and then you just get that first game of the tournament over with, it's kind of like getting the plaster, just pulling it off, right? It's such a scary matchup because teams can prepare for it and you never know. Upsets always happen in these best of 1s.
The unfortunate scenario for MVP, though, is let's say they do lose this game. That's definitely looking somewhat likely right now. The other side of the bracket is the Na'Vi versus Mao's game. So you have to play against the loser of that. Not going to be an easy matchup, but there's been real positive signs here for MVP, and they're definitely still in the running in this game. They've got the gun round together. Again, we're seeing a couple of Orgs come into play, which we haven't seen MVP go for in those earlier rounds. So I will definitely be interested to see where those Orgs position themselves. You would think maybe towards outside.
Well, yeah, obviously one of the other changes, apart from just the fire rate, was how inaccurate it becomes when you don't have the scope.
Yes.
Nukes, if you position yourself well here on Nuke, this is where the scope can still come through and it can still be very impactful. But we head into this one. It's round number 25. MVP trailing behind Liquid here, and this is probably one of the most important rounds for MVP in a while because obviously if they aren't able to get this one under their belt, that's where Liquid starts to just edge it up to the very, very edge.
Seen these smokes quite often from Liquid. The standard outside smokes and twists is going to crunch in towards A. HSK manages to get 2 kills from his position. The AUG coming through. Zyjan trying to hold as well.
Well, Zyjan is going to be waiting for it. It's going to be Zep who picks the kill up. Zyjan finally strikes, but it's all onto Nitro. A 1v3 is needed from the in-game leader of Liquid. He certainly is capable of pulling this off as he looks towards Heaven. Damage being done. There's the headshot. Looking back for another one. And unfortunately cannot line them up. But if he connected onto the Heaven player, he was pretty close to that second as well. Unfortunately, it will not happen. And it's MVP who go to 12, Alex. This is absolutely incredible.
My eyes lit up for a second there when I saw Nitro damage both those players, but no clutch occurring this time around. And understandably, Liquid have taken the tactical timeout because this is another round where everyone's going to be spending all their money.
They've also gone for the buy again. So SG coming in from NAF, this is the decision. They'll have plenty of utility available to them. This is going to be do or die time. If they don't win this, they might just find themselves at an eco, and that is where MVP might just go into the lead again, Alex, which is absolutely mental to think about. Going into this, you know, we probably say the best that MVP can hope for is a couple of map wins, and this might just be one of them. A win over the best team in the world. Certainly a great feat for them.
I feel like most of Liquid's round losses have come when they've tried to split into that A site. They've really struggled to get out through door and in through from outside into that A site itself. They're always getting caught there. MVP are doing a really great job at holding that area of the map, so maybe it's worth switching things up, but Liquid straight on towards this A bomb site. Naf in with the opening, the SG in with the follow-up. Naf doing work, but there's the trade. Naf is capable of making those plays as well, just making an individual play. We've seen him do it with the AWP in the past. This time he goes in with the SG and gives his team the early lead, and Stewie finds a wallbang headshot. The trade not successful. Stewie puts Zeph down, and Liquid just winning out on their aim.
Well, Stack's last man standing, and will he be standing for much longer? That is the question. He wants to run in towards the ramp area. At this point, it's probably best just saving. There's no money left on MVP. Team Liquid pretty dominantly won that one. 2 from Stewie, 2 from Naf. I think that's enough just to put the nails into the coffin at this point. They go up to 14. That puts them 2 away from taking away this map. And obviously winning their best of 1 opening game. And Stewie knows exactly what this last player is. He wants to go towards him. The rest of the troops are there. And the life expectancy of Stacks is very, very low indeed. But we'll see if he can hold on with the AWP as they start to run in towards him. Flashbangs, it's all over. What a scary sight as Twist will take his head off. 14-12.
And MVP's money has run dry. This could be the end of their chances here to win in regulation. You've got to think this is a save round for the CTs. The South Korean side not going to invest into this one. I mean, if they could win with the 5 USPs, that would be absolutely heroic, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. I think for Liquid as well, even though you kind of feel as though this has looked a little shaky, just getting over the opening best of 1 and getting the win is the main thing. I don't think it matters too much. They should grow into the tournament.
Exactly. Well, early damage done onto Sacks, drop to 33. So have to take a little bit of damage on board as well at this point. It's all about limiting the casualties on Team Liquid, making sure no one falls to these pistols, and just getting it over and done with. Get to map point here on Nuke as Twist runs over the top. He's got the AK-47 in his hands. We'll see if HSK and Zeta, alongside Zygen, can pick off anything. Well, Ding comes in towards Nitro. Eventually, Twist does pick up the kill onto Zeta. And Zygen, he's just biding his time, just waiting inside the A-bomb site. Was just being very patient, really, Alex, and they don't really come towards him. So it is map point for Team Liquid. They only need 1 more to take them to victory. And yes, it's been a scrappy one, but they've got here in the end. MVP they're going to purchase. They have to try and stay in this one. It's got to be overtime.
And I also don't feel as though any of the individuals on Liquid have really underperformed, right? Elige, is still playing to a really good level. He's probably been their best player in the last month or 2, winning those 2 recent MVPs. Here we go, though. Speaking of MVPs, it's MVP PK who have to win 3 in a row if they want to bring this one through. And some early aggression from Liquid is not going to be happening towards outside. A couple of smokes exchanged between the Ts and the CTs. Elige lining up a Molotov as well. And this time it's Nitro with the AWP in his hands rather than Naf. We've seen them switch that around slightly here on this one.
Well, Zygen, he's just going to be holding up from the other end of the door. Flash goes in towards radio room. MVP have a couple of advanced stances here across the map on their CT side.
Very few nades left on that CT side, though. They've used most of their nades early, so they don't have many smokes left to hold Liquid off. And that means that Liquid are going to be able to move forwards without too many difficulties. MVP have got to have solid crossfires, good trade kills here, and we've seen that on the first half. On the CT side, though, that's been less consistent for them.
Well, 45 seconds. Team Liquid have gone down towards Secret already. Smoke has faded. Currently waiting on the other end of the stairs is Zygen, and the smoke comes in. The Molotov, should I say. Does go pretty far, so that'll force him away. 29 seconds. It's going to be the final push here from Team Liquid. They have to make sure they find these engagements and win them. If they get delayed, it could be all over. And there will be the spray coming in from Zygen with 1 kill. Twist able to pick up the headshot back. And it's into a 4v3.
Oh, Stax is in position. 13 seconds. Stax is going to go down. Liquid about to deliver that bomb onto the site safely, and MVP can't stop them. Nitro quickly scopes in, quickly gets the kill, and it's only Nitro left alive. He's in the open. He's so low on health, down to 10 HP. He's got the molly, but he's got to get 2 kills.
Yeah, into the 1v2 clutch here. Nitro goes towards the defuse is coming through. Nitro has no idea. Molotov coming in, but it's through. The defuse comes in from MVP, and Team Liquid, they let the clock just run so low, and the pressure there at the end is just not enough, and it will be 15-13. MVP, they stay alive. And it still feels like they're on life support, Alex. The buy is still not going to be amazing, and another tactical timeout coming in from Team Liquid.
Only 1 timeout left for them now. This gives Liquid the chance to chat with Adren as well. Coach for Liquid, who has definitely been a big part of their success. MVP also have their coach, Termi, here. The buy for MVP isn't exactly perfect, though. At least they've gone for quite a few nades. The utility is there for them, but it's clear that Liquid have got the better buy heading into round number 29, and MVP call for a tactical timeout of their own.
I like that. I really do like the decision. You know, Liquid, we're going to call a tactical timeout. Well, MVP, we're going to go for one as well.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Exactly. That's the call here from MVP. And while Liquid still are in the lead, overtime is a real possibility here because MVP, they only need 2 in a row. Good thing for Liquid is the money is not in a bad position even at this point after a full buy.
Any more timeouts, anyone?
No, I think this is enough. I think we're getting ready to go into it. This could be the final round as Liquid are on match point here on Nuke. MVP have shown a great performance and they want to continue that.
We'll keep track of all of the nades and utility on the CT side. They've got themselves 2 kits. Most of the players with most of the nades that they would need. They are missing the AWP of Zeta, which was a pretty big factor for him earlier. He hasn't been as good when he's had the standard rifle in his hand. This time the FAMAS available to him. Liquid putting some early pressure towards Yard, but in these recent rounds, they've really slowed the pace down, and that's what's worked for them.
Smoke goes in towards the radio room. That's where Naf is currently playing from, so his information flow is completely severed off at this point. Liege, look at this. Being the front man, trying to get in towards secret stairs already, and he's got that. He needs to be careful for the AWP pull in the angle, and there's no one there. So Liege taking the control that he can, and Team Liquid, quite a bit of map control gained, and the only player really close by to deal with this is HS-Ken. He's on a FAMAS, so perhaps taking those fights is quite unfavorable for him, so he falls away back towards the door, and it will be the kill coming into Liege. So man advantage has been doubled over on the MVP side as they've got 2 kills. It's only Stewie, Nitro, and Twist that remain.
I thought Stewie and Elige would stick together as an entry duo there, but Elige goes alone. No chance for the trade. It is Stewie and Elige who have been trying to take all of the map control, but Stewie won't be too confident coming up through the vents. The flashbang is there for him, and he is going to go in first. Sijan goes down. Great shot from Stewie. There's still a man on the site, though. Zeph trying to lock this one down. Rotate comes in, but Nitro finds it. It's Nitro left in the clutch, 1v2.
We've seen him in this position so far. Can he get it done this time? No, he's already got 2 to his names. It would have to be the quad kill. 12 seconds. He has to go for the bomb. He's going to walk into the bomb, and Zeph is holding it. 15-14. We've reached the final round, Alex. All 30 have been played here in the opening match on the B stream of ESL 1 Cologne 2019. Team Liquid, #1 team in the world, versus the lowest seeded team in this tournament, MVP.
Well, Na'Vi Mouse Sports also went to 30 rounds, but Na'Vi eventually took that one over the line, coming back against Mouse Sports in that game. This one, though, still not done. And by the way, we were saying that Cologne is such a stacked tournament. it's being proven in these opening games, both of these going to 30 rounds. And this time Zeta has got the AWP in his hands. He's been very quiet without the sniper, but early on this CT side, Zeta got a couple of multi-kills with that AWP in his hand. That could be a nice factor here for MVP, whereas Liquid don't have the AWP. They have to go with the full AKs for what could be the last round of the game. It's definitely the last round of regulation. Let's see if overtime is going to be on the cards.
MVP, certainly hope it is. Got Finesse on 2 player stacks, and HSK. AK-47 available for Zygen alongside Zeph on the M4A4. And like you said, Zeta, well, on the AWP, has actually been very consistent. He's hitting the shots that should be easy, and he's connecting them. And that's important, because sometimes you can see AWPers that, yeah, you see a sitter shot, but if they miss them, it can sometimes cost them round wins. But he's been on point, and that's super important that that continues.
It's also a nice upside just because Zeta has really not done much with the standard rifles. As I was saying, he's been stuck on 15 frags for quite a while, so getting the AWP could be a big, big factor for him. The wind whistling on Nuke, but we're going to have some gunshots soon. Liquid trying to take control of ramp room. MVP happy to give that one away, but Liquid don't show any signs of slowing down.
Well, Naf has got the headshot onto Stacks. The rest of the troops starting to come on in, and Zygen trying to hold off the fort. Headshot into Lee. She looks back through, but it's Naf and Stewie who will take 2 kills. HSK and Zeta. Only Zeta. 1 player versus 4. AWP in his hands. We've talked about how this is the weapon he's proficient with. He's going to have to do it. It's going to be on this weapon.
Oh boy. This is not where you want to be with the AWP. Not able to have the early impact. Okay, that's a kill from Zeta. Barely even saw how he got that one, but half the time is gone on the bomb. He's got to move forwards. He probably wants to take the rifle, but he doesn't want to take the risk of switching weapon, and the shot is wide. Naf closes it out with a triple kill. A switch up in the last round for Liquid with the fast play pays off.
Indeed. Well, that's not a bad performance from MVP, I have to say. Getting 40 rounds against the best team in the world, that's incredible. I was expecting maybe a one-sided affair, but coming into this, MVP certainly surprised us, and they